We always judge the lowlights of our lives because that's when we access other people's highlights. We judge the lowlights of our lives against the highlights of other people's lives. I'm sure you've heard that saying before of grass is always greener on the other side. When do you notice that the grass is greener on the other side? When you're not focusing on taking care of your own lawn. Why is their grass green? Because they water it, they take care of it. And if you're busy taking care of your own lawn, then you don't have time to stare at your neighbor's lawns. You're more likely to be depressed by the smiling individual. Not uplifted, but depressed by them, because we can look at them the same way we look at an Instagram feed, the same way that we look at the grass, the same way we look at the Joneses. Wow, they're smiling, they're having a great time, they have a great life, they have a great house. There must be something uniquely wrong with me. And it frees you up, because that means that when you see those people have those moments of joy and happiness, it means it's available to you too. So often we think that the great things of life are not available to us. Great emotional states, love, peace, joy, contentment, fulfillment. We think it's not available to me, man. Everybody else seems to be getting it. We post pictures of ourselves going through good times. We don't post pictures of ourselves typically going through bad times unless we're an attention-seeking influencer. And so what we see from other people is the good times of their lives. And do you think anybody's on a ride at Disneyland? I was gonna say right now, but yesterday, do you think anybody was on a ride at Disneyland scrolling through their feed, scrolling through their stories? No, because they were too busy having fun at that time. There were people who were like, taking videos of themselves at those moments and then posting them. But there was nobody going through other people's Instagram stories to see what they were up to. My point is that we typically go through those things when we're bored and we're not doing something exciting. And then we see the whole rest of the world doing something exciting. And then that can cause us to think, wow, there's something uniquely wrong with me because everybody else is having a good time. We don't think of ourselves we don't think of other people as having downtime as well. We always judge the lowlights of our lives because that's when we access other people's highlights. We judge the lowlights of our lives against the highlights of other people's lives. And it's more so now. I'm sure you've heard that saying before of grass is always greener on the other side. When do you notice that the grass is greener on the other side? When you're not focusing on taking care of your own lawn. Why is their grass green? Because they water it, they take care of it. And if you're busy taking care of your own lawn, then you don't have time to stare at your neighbor's lawns. I'm sure you've heard that phrase before, keeping up with the Joneses, keeping up with like this family that is in your neighborhood and people you know who seem to be winning in life, and so you're trying to the best you can to buy the stuff that they buy and to outpace them and everything. And yet you never get a chance to enjoy your life because you're too busy trying to outdo other people. We're more likely to be depressed by the smiling individual, not uplifted, but depressed by them, because we can look at them the same way we look at an Instagram feed, the same way that we look at the grass, the same way we look at the Joneses. Wow, they're smiling, they're having a great time, they have a great life, they have a great house. There must be something uniquely wrong with me. Is there something uniquely wrong with you? Yes, but there's something uniquely wrong with everybody because we're all unique, and there's something wrong with all of us. So there's something uniquely wrong with all of us, but that means that there is something wrong with all of us. But if you're surrounded by nothing except for happy, smiling, joyful people, you can start to think that that's how everybody except for you is. When instead you admit your depression openly and freely, and then other people around you can look at you and go, yeah, man, me too. If they have the courage. At the very least, they can hear it and absorb it. Like, I would like to believe, I don't know that it's true, but I really don't think it's true. Like I said before, I don't think any more than 2 or 3 people in any class are listening at any given time. I would like to believe that people are hearing something that even if you don't look up, or even if it doesn't, even if you don't respond, even if you don't participate, you can resonate with it and go, yeah, I know what that means. I know what that's like. In the past, I've had students who have said to me that they were convinced that there were people who were telling me what was going on in their life because the quotes always seemed to match up with what was going on in their life at that time. Now, Of course, I'm working on the PowerPoint for next year already. I'm almost done with the one for next year. So these things are set way in advance. I have no idea who's going to hear what. But the point is that based off of the discussions, hopefully you start to realize that whatever it is you're thinking or going through, you're not the only one. And it isn't like, okay, so everyone else is miserable, so therefore I am better. No, it's more like we understand that there's not something that's uniquely wrong with just us, that everybody is struggling with things. That's why the person who's able to openly and freely acknowledge the depression, it doesn't mean you have to walk around all the time and, be sighing and wearing sunglasses and all that, because that's not really depression. Depression is, I'm sure you learned, is when you actually have difficulty functioning in life. That's like a severe clinical depression. Like when you're laying in bed, you can't get up. It's just because you lack a complete motivation to do anything. There's depression, like you go through life sad. There's also melancholy that some people have, which is just like a constant, like, not dark cloud, but like somewhat depressed state that people go through. You're functioning, but you're sad all the time. For lots of reasons. You can be, there may not even be a reason. Like I have a friend of mine who I was mentioning in another period who, I've known him for I've known him for decades, man. I've known him for a long time. And this is a dude who is, as long as I've known him anyway, he's always kind of on that brink of suicide. Not like, he's not talking about it all the time like he's gonna do it. But if I woke up tomorrow and found out he did it, it would just be like, man, I kind of knew. Not kind of, I knew. And I remember he was telling me a story that he used to tell his mom, because his mom kind of always noticed he was like a little dour as a kid, he said. And his mom would ask him, about it, and he would always tell his mom, I'm going to be better when I'm older. And I used to ask him, did you believe that? And he's like, yeah. Like his whole life, he's always believed, I'll be better when I'm older. I'll be better when I'm older. I'll be better when I'm older. And now he's I think he's like 40 or so. And if I ask him, I talk to him every once in a while and ask him, so are you any better? And he's like, I will be. And he's optimistic, perpetually optimistic. But it isn't anything that particularly causes it. It isn't like something has to happen in his life for him to all of a sudden just go crash down. It can just be the way the wind blows. It could be a leaf that falls. It isn't like he's overly emotional like that. It's just deeply affected by the world around him, the people. Those around us get an experience of freedom rather than depression itself. It's not that all of a sudden we become depressed with people. It's that we all of a sudden get a sense of freedom. It's like, I feel what they feel. I know what they feel. And I'm not the only one. And it frees you up, because that means that when you see those people have those moments of joy and happiness, it means it's available to you too. So often we think that the great things of life are not available to us. The great emotional states, love, peace, joy, contentment, fulfillment. We think it's not available to me, man. Everybody else seems to be getting it. And by the way, this is something that a lot of you guys will go through in the next few years. Heck, some of you are going to be going through this in the next couple of weeks in terms of graduation. I wonder how many of you have a plan for after graduation. And I wonder how many of you are just fucking sick of being asked what your plan is after graduation. Everybody in your life keeps asking you, so what are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do now? And you're like, I'm gonna cross the stage. I'm gonna finish. And yeah, okay, well then what? I don't know. You gotta have a plan. All of a sudden everything comes crashing in on you, and you feel like you're the only one without a plan. You're not the only one without a plan, dude. I'm 43 years old, I have a plan yet. I'm still making this shit up as I go. I don't know where I'm gonna be next year. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques? Yeah.